I've seen a whole lot of founders, so many founders struggle with pricing because if you are someone who's just getting started with building your SaaS application with no code, using Bubble or Flutterflow, one of your biggest trouble will be finding the right price for your setup, right? Or if not finding the right price, it will definitely be finding the right pricing option for your startup. I know a lot of persons will choose, one of the most popular pricing option, which is a monthly pricing. But in this video, I'm going to show you all five pricing options. I think it's common that you can use, and you can go ahead and pick one and say, okay, I think because of this and this and this is what I am going to pick for myself. It's a pricing option is something that you have to research about. It's something that you have to think about because it's going to affect your strategy. It's going to affect your go-to-market strategy. It's going to affect how much you make. If you're thinking of selling your application, your pricing option is definitely going to affect it. Thank you very much for joining me on this video. My name is Paul No Code. I am a no-code developer, builder, and consultant. I've worked with tons of founders, helping them, build their idea from start to finish, and also consulted for a lot of founders who are looking forward to building their ideas using no code, especially products, digital products with no code. So let's see some of these options, right? These are the top five. I'm pretty sure there are lots of others in the market, but these are the top five that I think works every single time. So the first, I'm pretty sure it's monthly pricing. Everyone that we've worked with, they've come around and say, hey, Paul, I want to put $99 a month. I want to put $20 a month. I want to put $40 a month. Depends on, they just do it. It's something that you just do what they think. They say, okay, I think another startup is doing $40. A competitor is doing $40, but I personally am going to do $40 also. But the thing is, if you're thinking of coming up with a monthly pricing strategy, two things you must put in mind, right? Number one, it's either you're the cheapest person in the market, the cheapest SaaS tool in the market, or you are the most expensive. Everything in between brings doubts to the customer because really you're not selling price to the customer. You're selling value. Customers need your SaaS in order for their business to change, right? That's what you're selling. But if you decide to go cheap, you definitely know that you have to have a very high volume, very large volume in order for you to be profitable. But if you decide to go expensive, you need low volume, because you have bigger ticket, you have bigger ticket size, so you need low volume. So that's something to put in your mind. Where do I want to operate? Do I want to be cheap, even though I'm going to be pricing monthly? Do I want to be cheap, or do I want to be, very expensive so I can have less customer but make a whole lot more money, right? The B2B market will likely go for any of these options, but the B2C market, I've seen the B2C market, when you're selling directly to customers, go for the cheaper options and sometimes even free, which can be very, very terrible, right? So the monthly pricing in itself, it's the most popular. 46% of people in the market use the monthly pricing, and I've seen it over and over again. Stripe is one of the major tools that is used there. Stripe, PayPal, Lemon Squeezy, lots of all these tools are monthly, and so users get to use your product for the first of the month all the way to on the 31st, sometimes 30 days, right? Use your product like this, and then after then their card is charged automatically. The next one is the annual pricing. So this normally would work for B2B, right? For B2B and B2C. Also, because you think your product is really good, or probably you're offering a discount here. This works, you're offering a discount, and you think, okay, I want you to come and take my product, use it for 1 year, and you're gonna pay after another year. So you're taking money year in, year out, year in, year out. That's how you're taking money. This can be really good if you're selling very high ticket, people would be willing to pay. But if you're doing B2C, except maybe you're offering a very huge discount for them, it might be very difficult to get them to buy yearly, right? Might be a bit difficult to get them to buy yearly. Then we have the metered pricing. Metered pricing is not very common, and that's the reason why you have about 6.1%. How does the meter pricing work? This is the way it works. So you have people saying you have this like a meter that shows how much a person is using, right? So if a person wants to use from point A to point B, right, they get to pay. So it's like they pay depending on how much they're using, right? It's like you buying your hosting space, right? For hosting space, it's one time, but somehow it's metered pricing. So you get to use and use and use. So if you're using more than 40%, if 40% is your threshold, so every time you use more than 40%, you get to pay. So if you go more than 40%, you pay. If you go more than 60%, you get to pay. But it's not very common in the B2B space, but depending on the kind of work you're doing and the kind of startup you're launching, it's something that you might want to use. And also we have the pay-as-you-go. So the pay-as-you-go business model, you will see it in startups like MailChimp. So you get to buy credits, right? You buy credits. So when you buy credits, you use up your credit, and then you can decide to recharge, or you can decide not to recharge again. Right here in Africa, we use the pay-as-you-go method for a call, right? Network charges like that. So you get to buy maybe 2,000 Naira credit, or maybe you buy like $5 credit, and that credit your call, you can keep making call until your $5 credit is exhausted. When it's exhausted, you'd have to recharge all over again to use the service. So the number 5, right, I missed number 5. Number 5 ought to be revenue. You would see it with online payment like Stripe, Shopify, e-commerce sites. Stripe will enable you to connect to your customer and collect their cash, but you will also pay a fee for every time you receive money from that same customer. Say for example, Stripe will charge you 1.25%, and then you will pay a £50 fee. It depends on what you're selling and where you are. Right here in Nigeria, if I receive something on Stripe, I pay 50 cents. That's what I pay. But your end might be a bit different. But the thing is, it's capped. So even when you're paying, it's capped. Local payment here in Nigeria, they will charge you 3.5% per transaction, and 100 plus 100 Naira from whatever you for every charge or for every transaction you make on their platform. But the thing is that all this is capped. They can't go they can't go so higher, even though you're making large volumes, right? So those are the pricing models that you can use for your no-code SaaS, right? But the thing is that you can combine a couple of this. For example, you can combine the monthly pricing and the annual pricing together. You can combine the pay-as-you-go and the monthly pricing together. It really depends on what works in your industry, and also you can test. You can test most of these things. You can say, okay, I'm going to test if credit works. I'm going to see if monthly pricing work. I'm going to see if annual pricing work, because the earlier you test and see what works with your customer, the better your life is going to be, right? The better you will be able to give your customer what they want, and you'll be able to build a product that resonates with them. Right, so I hope you enjoyed this. That's SaaS pricing in a few minutes. I hope you enjoyed this, and now you'll be able to choose the right pricing model for you, right? In a different video, I'm going to explain how this pricing model affects your marketing strategy, definitely. But for now, if you enjoyed this video, do well to subscribe. Do well to subscribe, and do well to leave your comment. So if you're looking forward to outsourcing building your web or your mobile SaaS, feel free to click on the link below, and I'll definitely do well to schedule a call so we can think about it, so we can talk about your product and get it into the market. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in a different video entirely. Bye.